Every day, we wrestle with requests and expectations, often saying yes when we truly mean no. Did you know that nearly 80% of people struggle with assertive communication, leading to frustration in personal and professional relationships? Mastering the art of saying no can dramatically transform your life, boosting your confidence, enhancing your social influence, and paving the way for career growth. This book unveils powerful techniques that demystify assertive communication, allowing you to reclaim your voice and establish healthier connections. Get ready to unlock your inner strength and discover how no can become your ultimate superpower. The Art of Saying No. Say No Without Fear, compiled and published by Verbal Charisma. Chapter 1. Why No is Your Superpower. Imagine standing at a crossroads where every path leads to overwhelming commitments that drain your energy and enthusiasm. Picture yourself at a gathering when a friend asks for yet another favor, and instead of feeling empowered, you find yourself nodding hesitantly, wishing you could simply say no. Research shows that individuals who master this simple word enjoy greater levels of satisfaction in their relationships and careers, unlocking doors to authenticity and fulfilling interactions. Saying no isn't just about declining, it's a declaration of your values, priorities, and self-respect. It's your superpower, and in this chapter, we'll delve into why it's essential to wield it effectively. At its core, saying no means setting boundaries and asserting your needs confidently. Often, we stumble into the trap of people-pleasing, where we prioritize others' expectations over our own well-being. This inability to decline can lead to resentment, burnout, and a profound sense of losing ourselves in the process. Effective communication helps establish a foundation of respect in our interactions, ensuring that your voice is heard and valued. Imagine the liberation you would feel if you could walk into social situations with the assurance that your worth isn't linked to your willingness to say yes at every turn. Consider Anna, who always said yes to her colleagues, even when it meant sacrificing time for her family. One day, overwhelmed and exhausted, she snapped at her partner and realized how far she had strayed from her own desires. On the converse, think of Mark, who learned to practice saying no when asked to take on additional projects at work. By doing so, he prioritized crucial tasks, enhanced his productivity, and earned the respect of his peers. This distinction highlights the very real impact of your choice to assert your needs versus following the path that leads to obligation. So, how do you begin to wield this superpower? Start by practicing self-awareness. Check in with your feelings before responding to requests. If you feel pressure or guilt, take a moment to recognize that this is your boundary being tested. Secondly, practice stating your no in the mirror. Role-playing helps you refine your tone and approach so that when the moment arises, it flows effortlessly. A firm but polite, "I can't take that on right now," can be your best friend. Thirdly, consider the power of pause. When someone asks something of you, instead of instantly responding, take a beat. This gives you the space to articulate your needs without rash agreement. As you integrate these techniques into your life, remember that each choice to say no reinforces your self-worth and paves the way for healthier interactions. Mastering the skill of assertive communication is not just a technique. It's an invitation to live fully and authentically. Ready to embark on this empowering journey? It's time to embrace your superpower and transform your interactions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more insights on mastering the art of effective communication. Chapter 2. The Hidden Cost of Saying Yes. Picture this. You've just settled into your favorite chair with a cup of coffee when your phone buzzes with a message from a friend asking for help on a project due tomorrow. You feel that familiar tug in your chest, an urge to say yes to keep the peace and maintain harmony. However, after you say yes, a wave of unease washes over you, and you realize you've just unintentionally compromised your own plans. Studies reveal that saying yes too often can lead to stress, burnout, and dissatisfaction in both personal and professional realms. It's crucial to understand that while saying yes seems harmless, it often comes with a hidden cost that can weigh heavily on your well-being and self-worth. The skill here is recognizing the importance of prioritizing your own needs while navigating social obligations. Saying no is not just about denying someone, It's an affirmation of your values, desires, and capacity. When you agree to everything, you risk spreading yourself thin, diluting your energy and passion. The real essence of this skill lies in identifying your boundaries and communicating them effectively. Assertive communication, therefore, is a cornerstone in fostering genuine connections based on mutual respect, where both parties feel valued and appreciated. Consider Lisa, a project manager who always accepted additional tasks out of fear of disappointing her superiors. Each time she acquiesced, her workload multiplied, leading to late nights and missed personal commitments. Her decision to constantly say yes drained her enthusiasm, ultimately affecting her performance. In contrast, her colleague David learned early on that it's essential to communicate openly about his limits. When asked to take on another project amidst personal commitments, David responded with a courteous, "I can't accept that at the moment. I want to ensure I deliver quality work on my current projects." His willingness to assert himself earned him respect and maintained his work-life balance. To develop this skill, start by practicing self-reflection. Each time a request comes in, pause and gauge your emotional response. If saying yes feels burdensome, honor that feeling. Another effective technique is to articulate your boundaries in advance. Before a busy work week, tell your team, "I can take on one more task, but I want to ensure I manage my current ones effectively." This paves the way for transparent communication. You can also engage in role-play scenarios in a safe environment with friends or family, rehearsing how to respond to various requests. This practice builds confidence, making it easier to handle real-life situations. Lastly, remember that it's okay to take your time when responding to a request. You don't always have to answer immediately. A thoughtful pause can help you articulate your true feelings. By integrating these techniques into your daily life, you'll learn that no doesn't signify failure or rejection. Rather, it reflects self-respect and prioritization of your own well-being. The journey to mastering this skill is an exciting one, leading to more meaningful engagements in all aspects of life. Ready to embrace the costs of saying yes and reclaim your time and energy? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for even more transformative insights on how you can enhance your communication skills. Chapter 3: The Psychology Behind Fear of No. Imagine standing on the edge of a diving board, your heart racing as you look down into the water below. Just like that moment of hesitation, many people experience a similar feeling when faced with the prospect of saying no. Did you know that nearly 70% of individuals report feeling an intense fear of rejection when declining requests? This fear is deeply rooted in our psychology, stemming from a desire for acceptance and approval. Understanding this dynamic can empower you to overcome the obstacles that prevent you from asserting your needs, opening up a world of authentic interaction. The psychology behind the fear of saying no involves complex emotions like anxiety and guilt, which can be paralyzing. This fear often dictates our responses, pushing us to prioritize others' expectations over our own well-being. While this may seem harmless, consistently succumbing to this pressure can lead to resentment, burnout, and a diminished sense of self-worth. The skill of assertive communication, specifically learning to say no, is essential for maintaining balance in personal and professional relationships. When you master this skill, you not only protect your own interests but foster an environment where authentic connections can flourish. Consider Sarah, who always felt compelled to say yes to her friends, even when it interfered with her personal time. Each time she agreed, she felt a pang of guilt creeping in, convincing her that her worth depended on her ability to keep everyone happy. This cycle left her emotionally depleted and frustrated, creating a barrier to genuine connection. In contrast, her friend Tom learned to confront his fear head-on. When asked to help with a project that clashed with his schedule, he calmly explained, "I'd love to help, but I need to prioritize my other commitments." By asserting his boundaries, Tom not only respected his own needs, but also fostered respect among his peers, illustrating that saying no can be both powerful and liberating. To tackle the fear of saying no, begin with cognitive reframing. Challenge the negative thoughts that arise when faced with a request. Instead of thinking, "They will be disappointed in me," flip this to, "Respecting my own time is equally important." Another technique is visualization. Before a situation arises, mentally rehearse saying no, and imagine the positive outcomes that follow. This practice can desensitize your fear, preparing you for real-life scenarios. Engaging in role-playing exercises with a trusted friend lets you practice assertive communication in a safe space, boosting your confidence for future encounters. Lastly, always remind yourself that it's perfectly acceptable to place your needs first. Every time you embrace the power of no, you strengthen your self-worth and encourage others to respect your boundaries. By actively working through the psychology behind your fears and integrating these techniques into your interactions, you'll find yourself approaching requests with a newfound confidence that serves both you and those around you. Are you ready to confront your fears and transform your relationships through assertive communication? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, to continue your journey toward mastering the art of saying no. Chapter 4. Breaking Free from Guilt and Obligation. Imagine waking up one morning, ready to embrace the day, but then feeling the weight of everyone else's expectations pressing down on you. This feeling is familiar to many, as statistics reveal that 80% of people struggle with feelings of guilt when considering saying no. This pervasive guilt often stems from the desire to be seen as helpful, reliable, or caring. However, this desire can hinder our ability to prioritize our own needs and desires. Let's explore the importance of breaking free from this guilt and obligation, and how doing so can lead to healthier relationships and greater self-fulfillment. Breaking free from guilt means recognizing that your needs are just as important as those of others. Assertive communication goes hand in hand with self-respect. When you assert your boundaries, you cultivate a stronger sense of self. Acknowledging that your time and energy are finite resources is integral to this process. By releasing the burden of guilt, you create space for authentic relationships where your boundaries are honored. It's essential to understand that true caring does not hinge on an endless willingness to comply with others' requests. It is rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Take, for instance, the story of Emily, a hard-working mother who always felt obliged to accommodate her children's every whim, from extracurricular activities to playdates. Despite her passion for painting, she frequently neglected her own interests, leading to burnout and resentment. Eventually, Emily realized that by always prioritizing her children's needs over her own, she was subtly teaching them that self-sacrifice was the only way to be a good parent. On the other hand, her friend Rachel learned to express her needs more clearly. When her children asked for help with a project while she was busy painting, Rachel confidently stated, "I can help you after I finish this piece." In taking care of herself, Rachel modeled an important lesson about self-respect. To help you break free from guilt, start by practicing self-affirmation. Each morning, remind yourself that your needs are valid and deserving of respect. Fight the urge to apologize excessively when declining requests. Instead, practice saying no firmly yet kindly. Role-playing scenarios where you practice asserting your boundaries can also be incredibly beneficial. Gather a supportive friend and, together, rehearse situations where you might feel pressured. This exercise can diminish feelings of guilt and boost confidence. Another effective technique involves journaling about the guilt you feel when saying no. Write down your thoughts to recognize patterns in your guilt and rationalize your decisions, allowing you to gradually reconcile this emotional response. Lastly, embrace the mantra, "I cannot pour from an empty cup." When you remind yourself that self-care is not selfish, you realize that by refocusing on your own needs, you enhance your ability to support others when it truly counts. As you begin to break free from guilt and obligation, you will notice a remarkable shift in your life. Relationships will strengthen, your self-esteem will flourish, and you'll find renewed energy and passion in the pursuits you hold dear. Ready to learn more techniques to help you on this journey? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for ongoing insights on how to cultivate the art of saying no and reclaim your emotional freedom. Chapter 5. The Assertive Mindset. Own your voice. Imagine standing in front of a crowd, your heart pounding, as you prepare to share your thoughts. The moment feels electric, yet there's an underlying fear that threatens to silence your voice. Did you know that studies reveal individuals who communicate assertively are 60% more likely to achieve their goals? An assertive mindset isn't just about speaking up, it's about owning your voice, asserting your needs, and confidently navigating interactions with others. Mastering this mindset empowers you to advocate for yourself while respecting the needs of those around you, fostering deeper connections and collaboration. At its essence, adopting an assertive mindset means knowing your worth and expressing it through clear, confident communication. This involves understanding not just what you want, but also being able to articulate it effectively. When you assert yourself, you communicate that your thoughts, feelings, and needs hold value, thus transforming how others perceive and engage with you. Assertiveness is a skill that transcends mere rhetoric. It builds the foundation for respectful and fulfilling interactions in all areas of life. Let's consider the story of Jack, a talented graphic designer who struggled to voice his ideas during team meetings. His shyness often left him overshadowed by more outspoken colleagues, and he felt invisible, despite the creativity he brought to the table. After years of bottling up his thoughts, Jack realized he had a unique perspective to offer. He decided to adopt an assertive mindset and practiced presenting his ideas before friends. When he finally spoke up in a meeting, his genuine enthusiasm captivated his peers, leading to a spirited discussion that transformed the project. In contrast, his colleague Lisa lost the chance to contribute her valuable insights because she hesitated to share, fearing rejection. To cultivate your own assertive mindset, start by embracing positive self-talk. Replace negative declarations like, "I can't," with affirmations such as, "I am capable of expressing my thoughts clearly." This simple shift can enhance your confidence over time. Next, practice using I statements. Instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel overlooked when my input isn't acknowledged." This technique empowers you to communicate your feelings without placing blame and encourages constructive dialogue. Another valuable technique is role-playing with a trusted friend or family member. Create scenarios in which you might need to assert yourself, perhaps declining an invitation or voicing your opinion on a project. By running these simulations, you'll get comfortable with the words and tone you wish to use, making it easier to do so in real situations. Additionally, maintain eye contact and use open body language to reinforce your assertiveness. Your physical presence will enhance your verbal communication, making your message resonate even more. As you embrace the assertive mindset, you'll discover not only a newfound confidence in your ability to express yourself, but also a more profound respect from those around you. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to assert your boundaries and share your insights, enriching your relationships and experiences. Are you ready to step into your power and amplify your voice? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more expert techniques to help you foster the assertive communication skills that will define your personal and professional interactions. Chapter 6: Boundaries, Your Personal Protection Shield. Imagine a beautiful garden surrounded by a sturdy fence, each flower and plant thriving in their designated space. This garden is a perfect metaphor for the importance of boundaries in our lives. Studies show that people with well-defined boundaries enjoy healthier relationships, reduced stress, and higher overall satisfaction. Learning to establish and maintain boundaries is crucial for personal growth and well-being, acting as a protective shield against negativity and overcommitment. Boundaries enable you to dictate what you will and will not accept, creating a space where you can flourish and honor yourself. At its core, a boundary is a limit you set to create space for your needs and values. When you effectively communicate your boundaries, you promote mutual respect and understanding in all interactions. Boundaries function much like traffic signs, guiding you and others towards safe and emotional well-being. They allow you to advocate for yourself and ensure that your time, energy, and emotional resources are prioritized. Without boundaries, relationships can become unbalanced, leading to feelings of resentment and frustration, creating an environment where both parties feel unheard and undervalued. Consider the story of a colleague named Jason, who constantly found himself swamped with work because he failed to set boundaries with his boss. Desperate for approval, he would take on last-minute projects, staying late and canceling personal plans. Over time, Jason's performance suffered, and his relationships began to deteriorate. In contrast, Emily, another team member, learned to communicate her limits effectively. When her manager asked her to work late, she responded, "I appreciate the opportunity, but I have prior commitments tonight. I can have it ready by morning." Emily's ability to uphold her boundaries not only earned her respect but also maintained her well-being. To cultivate this vital skill, start by identifying your limits. Reflect on areas of your life where you feel overwhelmed. This can reveal where boundaries are needed. Next, practice saying no in low-stakes situations. For example, when asked to take on an extra task at work, politely decline, expressing your current workload. This will build your confidence and make it easier when more significant requests arise. An effective technique is the sandwich approach, where you start with a compliment, state your boundary in the middle, and finish with appreciation. For instance, "I appreciate you thinking of me for this project, but I need to focus on my current assignments." Role-playing various scenarios with friends or family can also help you become comfortable asserting your boundaries. Simulate asking for what you need or saying no to someone. Through practice, you'll cultivate a confident and assertive voice. Lastly, remember to remain firm yet respectful, as healthy boundaries foster meaningful connections while preserving your self-respect. As you learn to establish and maintain your boundaries, you'll empower yourself to take control of your life and deepen your relationships. Ready to embrace the shield of boundaries? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, to continue exploring techniques that will help you protect your personal space and enhance your communication skills in authentic ways. Chapter 7. Saying no without justifying yourself. Picture this scenario. You're in a meeting, and a colleague asks if you can take on a project that's outside your current workload. You can feel the pressure mounting as you prepare to answer, sensing the unspoken expectation to comply. Interestingly, research indicates that nearly 75% of people feel they need to provide a justification when declining a request, often undermining their own needs. However, understanding how to say no without justifying it can be a transformative skill, liberating you from the heaviness of obligation while allowing you to stand firmly in your self-worth. The skill of saying no confidently, without having to explain yourself, is rooted in recognizing that your time and priorities are valuable. It involves asserting your boundaries while maintaining your integrity and respect for others. Saying no doesn't require a lengthy explanation. It can be as simple as stating your decision firmly and kindly. The importance of this skill lies in its potential to foster authentic communication and mutual respect, signaling to others that your needs matter just as much as theirs. Let's consider the experiences of Kevin, who found himself overwhelmed by requests for help from friends and family. He often gave in, feeling the need to justify his refusals by listing other commitments. This constant justification not only tired him but also made him feel as if his limits were negotiable. Contrastingly, his friend Clara learned to say no without delving into details. When her neighbor asked her to babysit on short notice, Clara simply replied, "I can't help this time." Her calm demeanor communicated respect for her own boundaries and set a precedent for future interactions. To develop this skill, start by rehearsing when to say no. Evaluate your commitments and recognize the moments where you feel compelled to justify your response. The next time you're asked for something that doesn't serve you, practice responding with, "I can't take that on right now," without feeling the need to elaborate. This assertiveness will empower you over time, reinforcing your sense of self-respect. Another effective technique is to use the broken record method, where you repeat your no calmly and clearly, without wavering. For instance, if someone persists, you can simply respond, "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I really can't." Engaging in role-playing exercises with a trusted friend can also bolster your confidence. Simulate various situations where you might need to decline a request, honing your ability to do so with poise. By practicing these scenarios, you'll find it easier to express your refusal when faced with real-life situations. Remember, you don't owe anyone a justification for choosing to protect your time and energy. As you embrace the ability to say no without justification, you'll discover newfound freedom in your decision-making. This skill will help you prioritize your needs while fostering balance in your relationships. Are you ready to reclaim your time and assert your voice? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more insights and techniques that will continue to elevate your communication skills and empower your interactions. Chapter 8: Handling Guilt Trips and Manipulation. Imagine walking through a bustling marketplace, where every vendor eagerly calls out, trying to sell you their wares. Among them is the seasoned saleswoman, who instead of simply promoting her goods, starts to weave an emotional tale of how the items represent her dreams. Before you know it, you feel guilty for even considering walking away. This scenario speaks volumes about the subtle art of manipulation that often plays out in our day-to-day interactions. A staggering percentage of people experience guilt trips regularly, illustrating the pressing need to understand how to navigate these situations with purpose and poise. Learning to handle guilt trips and manipulation is crucial for maintaining your boundaries and preserving your self-esteem, allowing you to keep your values at the forefront of every interaction. At its core, the skill of handling guilt trips involves recognizing when someone is trying to sway your decisions through emotional pressure. This skill is important because it empowers you to discern genuine requests from manipulative tactics, enabling you to respond assertively rather than reactively. Understanding this dynamic shifts your perspective from a place of obligation to a position of choice, making it easier to uphold your own needs and desires amidst the demands of others. Let's reflect on the experiences of Jessica, who often found herself overwhelmed by friends who would guilt her into attending social events, using phrases like, "You never want to spend time with us." Each time, Jessica felt torn between her need for rest and her desire to please her friends, resulting in weariness and frustration. Conversely, her friend Alex faced similar situations, but learned to address guilt manipulation directly. When his friends pushed for involvement in yet another group activity, he confidently stated, "I appreciate you all inviting me, but I need some time for myself right now." By acknowledging their feelings while still standing firm in his decision, Alex effectively sidestepped the trap of emotional manipulation. To develop your ability to handle guilt trips, start with a self-awareness exercise. The next time you feel compelled to comply with a request, pause and identify whether guilt or obligation influences your decision. Ask yourself, am I saying yes because I genuinely want to, or because I feel pressured? Another technique is to practice assertive phrasing. For example, you can respond to guilt trips with, "I understand that this is important to you, but I have to prioritize my needs." This reaffirms your boundaries while acknowledging the feelings of the other person without compromising your own. Rehearsing scenarios through role-play can also be highly effective. Share situations with a trusted friend and take turns practicing responses to guilt-laden statements and manipulative tactics. This practice allows you to prepare mentally for real-life encounters, reinforcing your ability to respond confidently. Lastly, remind yourself that you have the right to choose what serves you best. Emotional manipulation often relies on the belief that you are obligated to comply. Recognizing this truth will empower you to uphold your boundaries without guilt. As you master these techniques for handling guilt trips and manipulation, you'll cultivate a stronger sense of self and enhance your ability to engage in authentic relationships. Are you ready to reclaim your time and emotional health? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, to dive deeper into strategies that will empower you to take control of your interactions and stand firm in your choices. Chapter 9: No as a Tool for Self-Respect. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, confronted by your reflection as you repeat the word no over and over. Each time you say it, you feel a little more empowered, a little more liberated. Research shows that people who learn to say no maintain healthier boundaries and experience greater personal fulfillment. Saying no isn't just about declining requests, it is a powerful affirmation of self-respect and a cornerstone of healthy relationships. When you wield no as a tool, you are taking responsibility for your own needs and desires, allowing you to shape your life according to your priorities. At its essence, using no as a tool for self-respect means asserting your right to prioritize your needs without the burden of guilt or obligation. It involves recognizing that your time, energy, and emotional resources are valuable and should not be sacrificed to meet the endless demands of others. Self-respect is foundational to personal integrity. When you learn to say no confidently, you cultivate an essential skill that reinforces your worth and strengthens your identity. Consider the experience of Tamara, a dedicated volunteer who always found herself overcommitted. Though her heart was in the right place, she often felt drained and unappreciated. Each time someone asked for her help, she felt almost duty-bound to acquiesce, believing her worth depended on her availability. When a close friend expressed disappointment for her declining yet another request, Tamara realized she had been compromising her own well-being for the sake of others. In contrast, her colleague Mark modeled self-respect by clearly setting limits. When a coworker came to him for assistance during his lunch break, Mark replied, "I need this time for myself to recharge. Let's meet after work instead." By standing firm, Mark gained respect from his peers and maintained his own sense of balance. To empower yourself to use no as a tool for self-respect, start by identifying situations where you feel obliged to say yes when you actually want to decline. Keep a journal to note these instances, reflecting on how saying yes impacts your mood and energy levels. This awareness will increase your confidence in using no. Next, practice affirmations that reinforce your self-worth. Each morning, declare, "My needs are important, and I have the right to say no." This practice builds a mindset centered on self-respect. Engaging in role-play can also help you become more comfortable asserting your boundaries. Partner with a friend to simulate scenarios where you can practice saying no and witness your growth. Lastly, remember that you can offer alternative solutions when declining a request. For example, saying, "I can't assist with that now, but I can help later," enables you to maintain relationships while still honoring your own needs. As you begin to embrace no as a tool for self-respect, you'll find that your relationships grow deeper and more authentic. You'll cultivate a life filled with choices that reflect your true priorities, leading to increased fulfillment and well-being. Ready to take this empowering step forward? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more insights on how to harness your voice and command respect in all your interactions. Chapter 10: How to Stop Being a People Pleaser. Imagine being surrounded by a crowd of friends, family, and colleagues, each person sharing their ideas and plans while you smile and nod, all the while feeling a sense of unease bubbling within you. You want to voice your opinions and stand your ground, but the overwhelming desire to keep everyone happy pulls you in different directions. Studies show that over 70% of individuals admit to sacrificing their own needs to avoid conflict and please others. Learning how to stop being a people pleaser is not just an important skill, but a necessary step toward reclaiming your voice and self-identity. Embracing this journey allows you to prioritize your own desires without guilt, striking a balance between supporting others and nurturing your own well-being. At its core, the ability to stop people-pleasing revolves around recognizing your own needs as equally important as those of others. This skill is all about asserting your boundaries and expressing your preferences without the fear of disappointing anyone. By prioritizing your own desires, you not only cultivate healthier relationships, but also empower those around you to be more authentic. It may feel daunting, but suppressing your own desires only leads to resentment and emotional exhaustion. Learning to say no or setting limits can transform your interactions, enabling you to cultivate a more vibrant and fulfilling life. Consider the experience of Sarah, who always found herself saying yes to everyone's requests, whether it was organizing a party or staying late at the office. While her intentions were good, she quickly became overwhelmed and lost sight of her own goals. In contrast, her friend Adam learned to assert himself. When his colleagues insisted he take on an extra project, Adam responded with grace, "I appreciate your confidence in me, but I need to focus on my current workload." This respectful refusal not only reinforced Adam's boundaries, but also encouraged his coworkers to rethink their expectations. To help you stop being a people pleaser, begin by practicing self-reflection. Set aside 10 minutes daily to consider what you really want in various situations, whether it's in friendships or at work. This awareness will empower you to express your needs confidently. Another effective approach is to identify your triggers. Notice when you feel pressured to please others and ask yourself why. Cultivating this awareness will help you tune into your feelings and take action to protect your preferences. Moreover, role-playing can be a valuable tool. Find a trusted friend to practice scenarios where you might typically feel compelled to agree or acquiesce. By rehearsing these interactions, you'll build confidence in stating your needs and develop strategies for handling potential pushback. Lastly, embrace the power of pause. When faced with a request, take a moment to assess your feelings before responding. This act alone can prevent impulsive decisions and give you the time to prioritize your own needs without rushing into agreement. As you embark on the journey of breaking free from people-pleasing, you will discover newfound strength in your voice and the ability to create authentic connections grounded in mutual respect. Ready to reclaim your autonomy and foster healthy boundaries? Subscribe to my channel Verbal Charisma for further insights and techniques that will guide you in asserting yourself and embracing a more fulfilling life. Chapter 11. Saying No to Family Without Drama. Picture a family gathering where the atmosphere is buzzing with laughter and chatter. Suddenly, a relative turns to you with a request that feels overwhelming. Maybe it's to host the next family event or take on an unfair share of the family responsibilities. You feel the familiar tug-of-war within you, wrestling between the urge to please and the desire to safeguard your own time and energy. A survey indicates that nearly 60% of individuals struggle to say no to family members, driven by fear of disappointing or upsetting loved ones. Learning to say no to family without creating drama is essential for maintaining your sanity while fostering healthier family dynamics. At its essence, saying no to family means asserting your boundaries in a manner that respects both yourself and your loved ones. It's about communicating your limits clearly, without feeling guilty or resorting to justifications. This skill is vital because it helps establish mutual respect while reinforcing your right to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being. By saying no thoughtfully, you can avoid feelings of resentment and ensure that your interactions with family members remain positive. Take the example of Lisa, who always agreed to help her siblings, even when it left her stressed and unable to manage her own commitments. One day, during a particularly intense family discussion, her brother assumed she would handle all the logistics for their parents' anniversary party. But on that occasion, Lisa felt empowered to speak up. She calmly said, "I'm unable to take on that responsibility this year. I have prior commitments that I can't change." The atmosphere remained warm, and her siblings respected her decision, showing that it's possible to assert oneself without escalating tensions. To develop the skill of saying no to family gracefully, start by defining your priorities. Reflect on which familial responsibilities genuinely resonate with you, and recognize those that feel imposed. This clarity will help when it comes time to express your limits. Secondly, practice using empathetic language. For example, you can say, "I understand this means a lot to you, but I can't commit to that right now." This approach acknowledges their feelings without compromising your boundaries. Another helpful technique is to prepare for potential pushback. Think ahead about what your family might say in response to your refusal. Role-playing these conversations with a friend can help you navigate through their reactions while maintaining your stance. Also, consider proposing alternatives if appropriate, such as suggesting that another family member could help or proposing a different timeline that suits you better. Finally, remember that it's okay to take a pause when confronted with a request. If you feel pressured, state, "Let me think about that," giving you time to assess how it fits into your priorities. This pause not only helps you to respond thoughtfully, but also signals to your family that your time and commitments deserve consideration. As you embrace the ability to say no to family without drama, you'll likely discover a healthier balance within your relationships. This journey leads to deeper, more respectful connections that honor your boundaries while maintaining the warmth of family ties. Are you ready to assert yourself in the most meaningful relationships of your life? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for practical techniques that will empower your communication, helping you create stronger, more fulfilling family dynamics. Chapter 12, Saying No in Friendships with Confidence. Imagine you're meeting up with friends, the atmosphere lively and filled with laughter. Someone suggests a weekend trip that doesn't align at all with your plans or interests, and you feel the familiar twinge of discomfort. A startling statistic reveals that over 65% of people struggle to say no when it comes to their friends, fearing they might let them down. However, mastering the skill of saying no in friendships is crucial for building authentic connections and fostering mutual respect. This ability empowers you to assert your own needs while still valuing the bonds you share. At its core, saying no in friendships means expressing your boundaries clearly and confidently, ensuring that you prioritize your own well-being without sacrificing the integrity of your relationships. It is vital because true friendships thrive on honesty and respect. When you can decline requests that don't serve you, you demonstrate to your friends that your needs are just as important as theirs. This exchange cultivates an environment where both parties feel safe expressing themselves, strengthening rather than weakening the friendship. Consider the experience of Jamie, who always felt pressured to join her friends for outings, even when she was exhausted. Jamie struggled to say no, believing her worth as a friend hinged on her availability. However, one day, she decided to shift gears. When her friends invited her to a late-night gathering, she replied, "Thanks for the invite. I really need a quiet night to recharge." The response was met with understanding and respect, reinforcing Jamie's sense of self while preserving her friendships. On the other hand, her friend Aaron often ignored his own preferences, leading to resentment when he found himself attending events that didn't interest him, often missing the opportunity to cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections. To foster your ability to say no in friendships with confidence, start by practicing assertive language. This involves using phrases that reflect your boundaries clearly and kindly. For example, you might say, "I appreciate the invite, but I can't make it this time." Practicing these phrases in a mirror can help you feel more comfortable delivering them in real situations. Additionally, develop a routine of self-reflection to assess your genuine desires. Before responding to a request, take a moment to gauge how the invitation aligns with your needs. This awareness will empower you to stand firm in your choices. You can also role-play different scenarios with a supportive friend where you practice saying no. This simulation will boost your confidence when faced with real-life situations. Another powerful technique is to initiate a conversation with friends about boundaries. Most people appreciate the opportunity to express their needs, and having an open dialogue can create a shared understanding that encourages mutual respect when saying no. Finally, remember that it's perfectly okay to prioritize your well-being. Friendships should uplift you, not drain your energy. By mastering the skill of saying no confidently, you'll deepen your connections and foster genuine friendships built on respect and understanding. Are you ready to embrace the freedom that comes from asserting your boundaries? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more insights and actionable techniques that will empower your social interactions, ensuring that your friendships flourish while honoring your individual needs. Chapter 13. No in the Workplace. Set limits. Imagine stepping into your bustling workplace where the atmosphere crackles with energy, yet you feel an underlying tension as demands tug at your attention from every direction. A surprising statistic reveals that nearly 60% of employees report feeling overwhelmed due to an inability to say no at work. Learning how to assertively say no is a critical skill that can safeguard your productivity, well-being, and job satisfaction. Asserting your limits fosters not only your own efficiency, but also models healthy boundaries for your colleagues, creating a workplace environment grounded in respect and mutual understanding. At its core, saying no at work is about recognizing that you have the right to prioritize your tasks and responsibilities. It involves communicating your boundaries clearly and confidently, ensuring that you are in control of your workload. Why is this important? Because in a high-paced professional setting, Failing to set boundaries can lead to burnout, decreased morale, and a drop in overall performance. When you learn to say no effectively, you nurture a healthier work environment for yourself, as well as for your team. Take the experience of Sam, a dedicated employee who frequently found himself inundated with requests from colleagues, resulting in late nights and heightened stress levels. Each time a coworker approached him with a last-minute project, he would feel obliged to say yes, leaving little room for his own priorities. However, one day, Sam reached a breaking point. When approached again for help, he firmly but politely stated, "I can't take on any additional tasks right now. I have other deadlines to meet." This moment marked a turning point for Sam, as he discovered the power of asserting his limits without sacrificing his collaborative spirit. Conversely, his colleague Tina, afraid of disappointing others, continually said yes, leading her to feel overwhelmed and unappreciated, which ultimately impacted her performance and morale. To develop the essential skill of saying no in the workplace, begin by clearly identifying your current priorities and commitments. Take inventory of what projects and responsibilities deserve your attention, giving you a clearer picture of where limits need to be set. Secondly, practice assertive communication. When faced with a request that doesn't align with your priorities, respond with clarity. "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I need to focus on my current projects." Engage in role-playing exercises to prepare for varied workplace scenarios. Partner with a coworker or friend and simulate situations where you may need to decline requests. This practice will increase your confidence and help you deliver your response with conviction. When saying no, it can be helpful to follow up with alternative solutions, suggesting when you might be available or recommending another colleague who could take on the task. For example, you might say, "I can't assist with this today, but I recommend reaching out to Jessica. She's excellent with this type of project." Lastly, remember that taking a moment to pause before responding to any request provides you space to assess your current commitments. When someone approaches you for assistance, it's perfectly acceptable to say, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." This response not only ensures that you evaluate your priorities, but also conveys that your time is valuable. As you begin to assert yourself and say no in the workplace, you will foster a more productive environment and encourage your colleagues to do the same. By prioritizing your own needs while respecting the dynamics of your workplace, you'll find that collaboration flourishes amid healthy boundaries. Are you ready to reclaim your time and elevate your work experience? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more insights and techniques that will empower you in your professional communication, helping you set limits with confidence and grace. Chapter 14. No in Dating and Romantic Relationships. Imagine going on a promising first date, your heart racing with excitement as you share stories and laughter over dinner. But as the conversation flows, your date leans in with a request that makes you uncomfortable. Perhaps they want to rush into a level of intimacy that doesn't align with your feelings at the moment. A surprising statistic reveals that nearly 75% of individuals in romantic relationships struggle to say no, fearing that it might jeopardize their connection. Learning to assertively say no in dating and romantic relationships is a vital skill that empowers you to express your boundaries and ensures that both partners feel respected and understood. At its core, saying no in romantic contexts is about establishing clear boundaries that reflect your comfort levels and values. This skill is essential for fostering healthy, respectful relationships. When you articulate your boundaries confidently, you promote a culture of mutual respect and open communication. Effective communication of your needs can create a stronger bond and deeper connection, while also avoiding feelings of resentment that may arise from compromised values. Consider the experience of Maya, a woman who was eager to start a new relationship but found herself agreeing to things that made her uncomfortable. On a second date, her partner suggested that they skip the traditional dating pace and move in together right away. Fearing that a refusal might push him away, she hesitated but ultimately responded, "I really enjoy spending time with you, but I'm not ready for that level of commitment just yet." This assertive response invited a meaningful conversation about their expectations, showcasing that saying no does not have to end a budding romance. In contrast, her friend Alex often found himself in unwanted situations because he was afraid to express his boundaries. By ignoring his discomfort, he discovered that these experiences left him feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from his true desires. To cultivate the ability to say no in dating, start by identifying your values and boundaries. Reflect on what you are comfortable with regarding physical intimacy, emotional investment, or relationship pacing. This clarity will aid you in communicating your needs as you navigate romantic interactions. Next, practice using direct and affirming language. For example, if you feel pressured during a date, you might say, "I'm really enjoying our time together, but I'd like to take things slow." This approach expresses your feelings while respecting the other person's desires. Engaging in role-play exercises with friends can also be immensely beneficial. Create scenarios in which one partner might be pushing boundaries and practice asserting your limits confidently. Through repetition, you will build comfort and familiarity with speaking up. Additionally, assure yourself that it's okay to take a pause during conversations. If you ever feel uncomfortable, response phrases like, "Can we slow down for a moment? I need to think about this," give you the space to reflect without feeling rushed. As you build the skill of saying no in dating and romantic relationships, you unleash the power of self-respect and authenticity. This journey will allow you to engage in connections that align with your true self while laying a strong foundation of communication and respect. Are you ready to embrace your right to say no and pave the way for deeper, more fulfilling relationships? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for additional insights and techniques that will help you navigate the complexities of romantic interactions with grace and confidence. Chapter 15: Social Pressure. How to say no. Imagine you're at a party, the music is upbeat and people are mingling, when suddenly a friend nudges you to join a game that doesn't appeal to you at all. You feel the pull of social pressure, the smiles, the excitement, the fear of being the odd one out. It's not surprising that approximately 70% of people struggle to assert themselves in social situations, because the desire to fit in often overshadows their own preferences. Learning to say no amidst social pressure is a powerful skill that not only reinforces your autonomy, but also fosters authentic interactions based on your genuine interests and boundaries. At its core, saying no in the face of social pressure means confidently asserting your boundaries while respecting both your needs and the feelings of others. This skill is essential as it cultivates self-respect and integrity in your relationships. It allows you to resist the urge to succumb to groupthink. By effectively communicating your preferences, you establish a foundation of authenticity in your interactions, which paves the way for more meaningful connections. Consider the story of Marco, who always found himself agreeing to plans that did not align with his interests simply to avoid discomfort. At a gathering, his friends enthusiastically suggested karaoke, a pastime he found mortifying. Instead of joining in with forced excitement, Marco decided to speak up, saying, "I really appreciate the invite, but singing in public isn't for me. I'd rather hang back and support you all." His honesty not only earned him respect but also invited others to share their own boundaries, creating a more relaxed environment. Alternatively, his cousin, Sophia, consistently felt pressured to conform to group activities, which led to resentment and a decline in her enthusiasm for socializing. To develop the skill of saying no under social pressure, start by identifying your personal preferences and values. Reflect on what you genuinely enjoy and the situations where you often yield to pressure. This awareness will strengthen your resolve when faced with similar circumstances. Next, practice assertive and polite refusal phrases. For instance, responding with, "Thanks for the invite, but I'd prefer a quieter evening," conveys your decision while remaining considerate of others' feelings. Engaging in role-playing scenarios with friends can also be incredibly helpful. Arrange practice sessions where one person poses common social pressures and the other has to respond with their no. This exercise will help prepare you for real situations, allowing you to navigate them with confidence. Additionally, remember to cultivate a mindset of self-compassion. Acknowledge that it's okay to prioritize your comfort and interests, and remind yourself that friendships built on respect will support your right to say no. Lastly, employing the strategy of taking a moment before responding can be invaluable. If you're caught off guard by a request, instead of responding immediately, say something like, "Let me think about that," allowing you time to determine whether participation aligns with your values. By mastering the ability to say no amidst social pressure, you will empower yourself to navigate social situations with authenticity, reinforcing your self-worth and deepening your connections. Are you ready to embrace the power of self-assertion in social contexts? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for further insights and techniques that will enhance your communication skills and enable you to navigate social pressures with grace and confidence. Chapter 16. The Body Language of No. Imagine standing in a crowded room, someone approaching you with a request that makes you uncomfortable. You want to say no, but your body is sending mixed signals. Your arms might be crossed, and you might be avoiding eye contact, even as you say the word no softly. A fascinating statistic shows that up to 93% of communication is nonverbal, emphasizing the profound role body language plays in our interactions. Understanding the body language of no can empower you to communicate your boundaries more effectively and ensure that your intentions align with your words. At its core, body language encompasses the gestures, posture, and expressions we convey without saying a word. Learning how to masterfully express a no through body language is crucial because it reinforces your verbal communication, solidifying your message in a way that is unmistakable and confident. This skill is particularly important in a world where many feel uncomfortable expressing their limits, yet must navigate social complexities daily. By mastering your body language, you gain greater control over how you present your boundaries, making it easier for others to understand and respect them. Consider the example of Sarah, a team member who constantly found herself overwhelmed by additional projects. During meetings, although she verbally declined extra assignments, her body language told a different story. She would lean in, smile, and maintain eye contact, sending unintentional signals of eagerness. When she finally learned to match her body language with her words, she adopted a more assertive posture. By standing tall, maintaining a firm yet relaxed expression, and using open hand gestures, Sarah communicated her refusal with clarity. On the flip side, her colleague Tom often fell prey to implicit discomfort. When asked to join a committee he wasn't excited about, he fidgeted and looked away while mumbling a weak no, leaving room for further persuasion. To enhance your understanding of the body language of no, begin by practicing awareness. Observe yourself in various situations, noticing how your body reacts when you feel pressured or uncomfortable. A simple technique is to ground yourself before responding. Take a moment to stand tall with open shoulders and maintain steady eye contact when refusing a request. This positioning signifies confidence and self-assurance while reinforcing your words. Furthermore, practicing mirroring, adopting open and confident postures, can boost your assurance in communication. For example, if someone approaches you while you're seated, sit up straight and face them directly, capturing an assertive presence. Role-playing exercises can also help solidify your nonverbal responses. Partner with a friend to simulate scenarios where you need to say no. As you practice, take the opportunity to incorporate body language techniques. Experiment with different stances and gestures, exploring what feels authentic yet conveys assertiveness. Lastly, remind yourself that it's entirely normal to assert your boundaries. Acknowledging your worth will naturally influence your body language, making your nonverbal cues resonate with confidence. Through mastering the body language of no, you will find that your confidence grows, your boundaries to be respected, and your interactions will deepen in authenticity. Ready to explore the transformative power of your nonverbal communication? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for insights and practical techniques that will help you express your boundaries with conviction and clarity, enriching your relationships in the process. Chapter 17. Mastering No, Assertiveness in Action. Imagine standing at a fork in the road, one path leading to a life filled with compromise and resentment, and the other to a journey grounded in self-respect and assertiveness. A striking statistic reveals that individuals who consistently assert their boundaries experience a 67% increase in overall satisfaction in their personal and professional lives. Mastering the art of saying no is more than a simple refusal. It is about exercising your right to communicate your needs confidently and genuinely. This skill allows you to navigate relationships with clarity, fostering an environment where mutual respect thrives. At its essence, mastering no means embracing assertiveness in a way that honors both your own desires and the feelings of others. This skill is vital because it empowers you to stand firm in your beliefs and priorities, allowing you to engage in healthier and more authentic interactions. When you master the ability to say no, you create a foundation for genuine relationships where your boundaries are not only respected but expected. This behavior ultimately encourages others to express their needs as well, leading to more fulfilling interactions. Take the story of Rachel, who often found herself overwhelmed by a whirlwind of social obligations. Each time a friend asked for help, she felt compelled to say yes, fearing she would disappoint them. One evening, after a particularly exhausting week, Rachel recognized the pattern that was draining her. When her friend invited her to yet another gathering, Rachel paused and chose to assert herself, responding with, "I truly appreciate the invite, but I need to rest tonight." This simple yet powerful statement not only preserved her energy, but also set a precedent for her friendships going forward. In contrast, her friend Laura always felt pressured to conform to group activities, leading to frustration and a sense of lost identity. To develop the skill of mastering no, start by identifying areas in your life where you've been hesitant to express your needs. Write down situations where saying no would have benefited you in the past, creating an awareness of your boundaries. Next, practice assertive communication techniques. Use short, direct phrases such as, "I can't commit to that right now," while maintaining a warm tone. This approach allows you to communicate your decision firmly without appearing cold or confrontational. Engaging in role-playing scenarios with friends can be tremendously helpful. Create situations where one person pressures the other, allowing the no to flow naturally. This practice not only builds confidence, but also reinforces the importance of your boundaries. Additionally, consider adopting a mantra to support your assertiveness. Repeat to yourself, "My needs are valid," especially in situations that challenge your comfort. Lastly, embrace the idea that it is okay to make room in your life for what truly matters to you. Every time you assertively say no, you create space for opportunities that align better with your values and desires. As you embark on the journey of mastering the skill of saying no, you will discover newfound freedom and control over your interactions. You will nurture deeper relationships founded on mutual understanding while creating a more fulfilling life for yourself. Are you ready to engage in assertiveness with confidence and clarity? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, to explore further techniques and insights that will empower you to embrace your voice and navigate life's complexities with grace and assertiveness. Chapter 18: When to Compromise and When to Walk Away. Picture this. You're at a crossroads, and a friend is asking you to participate in a project that conflicts with your values or priorities. You think of all the times you've been caught in a tug-of-war between your need to maintain relationships and your desire to stay true to yourself. A recent survey indicates that nearly 65% of people find it challenging to distinguish between healthy compromise and detrimental capitulation in relationships. Knowing when to compromise and when to walk away is an essential skill that ensures you remain aligned with your principles while maintaining the integrity of your connections. This ability empowers you to navigate life's complexities with clarity and confidence, leading to more fulfilling interactions. At its heart, understanding when to compromise versus when to assert your boundaries hinges on self-awareness and the ability to evaluate the consequences. Compromise involves finding middle ground that suits all parties involved, whereas walking away means recognizing that continuing the relationship or commitment may not serve your best interests. This skill is crucial because it allows you to cultivate healthy relationships based on respect, honesty, and shared values. By understanding your limits and negotiating effectively, you engage authentically, preventing resentment and frustration from taking root. Consider the experience of Jake, who often found himself bending over backward to keep the peace in his relationships. When a colleague asked him to contribute his time to an initiative that directly contradicted his professional values, Jake wavered between a hesitant agreement and the conviction to stand his ground. Ultimately, he realized taking part would undermine his principles. After discussing this with a trusted friend, Jake decided to walk away from the project, notifying his colleague of his reservations. In contrast, another friend, Leah, often walked away too quickly, shutting down opportunities for growth and collaboration without exploring compromises. Her response deprived her of the chance to build stronger connections and learn from challenging situations. To develop the ability to discern when to compromise and when to walk away, start by examining your values and priorities. Reflect on what truly matters to you and where you draw the line. This clarity will serve as your compass when faced with difficult decisions. Next, when confronted with a potential compromise, evaluate the consequences of both options. Ask yourself, will agreeing to this request align with my values, or will it lead to resentment? This reflective questioning fosters a clearer understanding of what your choices entail. Another valuable technique is practicing open communication. Share your feelings when discussing a potential compromise with others. If you feel pressured, express your thoughts honestly and inquire about options that might work better for you. Role-playing scenarios can also help. Simulate challenging conversations with a partner or trusted friend. This practice allows you to navigate difficult discussions in a supportive environment, enhancing your confidence in real-life situations. Lastly, trust your instincts. If something feels off or you sense manipulation, allow yourself to step back. It's perfectly acceptable to prioritize your own well-being. Recognizing your worth means understanding that it's okay not to engage with situations that conflict with your values. By mastering the skill of knowing when to compromise and when to walk away, you will cultivate deeper, healthier relationships and a stronger sense of self. Are you ready to embrace the power of this skill in your life? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more insights and practical strategies that will help you navigate your relationships with confidence, ensuring that you honor both your needs and those of others. Chapter 19. No as a path to freedom and peace. Imagine standing on a busy street, feeling the weight of everyone's expectations pressing on your shoulders like a heavy backpack. You've been saying yes to every request that comes your way, convincing yourself that pleasing others is the path to harmony. However, a staggering statistic reveals that individuals who struggle to say no are 75% more likely to experience stress and burnout. Learning to wield no as a powerful tool for freedom and peace is essential for reclaiming your time, energy, and inner tranquility. This essential skill allows you to prioritize your own needs while creating healthier dynamics in your relationships. At its core, saying no is an act of self-empowerment and self-respect. It's a declaration of your autonomy and an affirmation that you value your own time and energy. This skill is critically important because it paves the way for authentic connections, where interactions become based on mutual respect rather than obligation. When you become comfortable with saying no, you liberate yourself from the constraints of external expectations, allowing you to engage more fully with the people and activities that truly resonate with you. Consider the story of Emma, who found herself perpetually overwhelmed by her commitments. She had a habit of saying yes to every invitation, whether it was attending gatherings, volunteering for extra tasks at work, or helping friends with projects. As a result, her enthusiasm and energy dwindled. One day during a particularly draining week, Emma decided to take a stand. When a well-meaning friend asked for help with an event she wasn't passionate about, she took a deep breath and said, "I appreciate you thinking of me, but I need to focus on my own space right now." This simple act of asserting her boundaries allowed Emma to reclaim her peace and positively impacted her relationship by fostering open dialogue about mutual needs. Conversely, her friend Lily often felt guilty when declining invitations, leading her to resentfully overcommit, which ultimately harmed her friendships. To develop the skill of saying no as a pathway to freedom and peace, start by reflecting on your personal values and priorities. Take the time to jot down what truly matters to you and let this guide your decisions. Next, practice keeping your no responses simple and affirmative. For example, use phrases like, "I can't make it this time," without feeling compelled to offer excessive explanations. This clarity helps both you and the other party to understand your stance without creating unnecessary tension. Engaging in role-play scenarios can also be beneficial. Pair up with a supportive friend and simulate situations where you may need to say no. This practice will help you fine-tune your responses and boost your confidence in asserting your boundaries. Another handy technique is to employ a pause and reflect strategy. When someone makes a request, take a moment to assess how you genuinely feel about it before responding. This delay allows you to check in with your own needs and ensures that your response aligns with your priorities. Finally, remember that the more you practice saying no, the more natural it will become. With each no you assert, you're not only preserving your well-being, but also encouraging a culture of respect in your relationships. As you embrace saying no as a path to freedom and peace, you'll discover that your relationships become more authentic and your sense of self-worth flourishes. Are you ready to liberate yourself from the weight of obligation? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more empowering techniques and insights that will help you navigate life with confidence and clarity, fostering meaningful connections that truly matter. Chapter 20. The Confident Life. Embracing No Fully. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, the world spread out beneath you, as you breathe in the fresh, light, invigorating air. In that moment, you feel a sense of freedom and empowerment, unburdened by the weight of unnecessary obligations or the need to please others. Statistics reveal that individuals who confidently say no live with greater happiness and satisfaction, creating clearer boundaries that enable them to pursue their passions without fear. Embracing no fully is not just about declining requests. It signifies a transformation in how you navigate your life, relationships, and self-awareness, allowing you to live on your own terms. At its core, embracing no is about asserting your priorities, understanding your needs, and recognizing your worth. This skill is vital in leading a confident life because it underscores self-respect and authenticity in your interactions. When you learn to say no without guilt, you cultivate a strong foundation for meaningful relationships and enhance your personal and professional life. The ability to embrace no not only liberates you from the expectations of others, but also reaffirms your commitment to living in alignment with your values. Consider the journey of David, who often found himself overextended and drained by the endless demands placed on him by friends, family, and colleagues. He realized that by constantly saying yes, he was sacrificing his own happiness and well-being. After attending a workshop on assertive communication, David decided to put his newfound knowledge into practice. One day, when approached to help organize yet another event, he confidently replied, "I appreciate the invitation, but I cannot commit my time to it right now." The relief that washed over him in that moment was liberating. He had chosen his well-being over obligation. In contrast, his friend Emily often struggled with feelings of resentment when unable to assert her limits. By not embracing no, she inadvertently created chaos in her own life, leading to frustration and fatigue. To help you embrace no fully, begin by reflecting on your core values and goals. Understanding what truly matters to you will provide clarity when faced with requests that do not align with your intentions. Next, practice affirmations focused on empowerment. Repeating phrases such as, "I have the right to say no and prioritize my needs," reinforces your self-worth and strengthens your resolve. Another effective technique is to establish a simple response framework. For example, when someone asks for your help, you might say, "I'd love to help, but I'm unable to take that on at the moment." This phrase is direct yet courteous, creating space for assertiveness without guilt. Engaging in role-playing exercises with a trusted friend can also enhance your confidence. Exploring scenarios where you may feel tempted to say yes can help prepare you to respond assertively when it truly counts. Lastly, embrace the practice of self-care. and give yourself permission to prioritize your time and energy as you navigate social situations. Each time you confidently say no, you reinforce your commitment to your personal peace and goals. As you learn to embrace no fully, you will unlock a more confident and fulfilling life. You'll realize that by setting clear boundaries, your relationships become enriched and your energy revitalized, allowing you to pursue what inspires you most. Are you ready to take this empowering step toward a life anchored in authenticity and self-respect? Subscribe to my channel, Verbal Charisma, for more transformative insights and practical techniques that will guide you on your journey to a confident, fulfilling life where saying no is an integral part of your self-expression. As we conclude this journey into the empowering world of assertive communication, remember that every no you articulate is a powerful affirmation of your self-worth and boundaries. By embracing this skill, you create space for authenticity and respect in your relationships, void of guilt and obligation. Each chapter has equipped you with practical techniques to navigate social dynamics confidently, ensuring that your voice is heard and valued. Thank you for dedicating your time to watch this video. Your commitment to personal growth is truly inspiring. Now, seize this moment to take action. Apply what you've learned today in your interactions. Embrace your newfound power and transform your life for the better. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Verbal Charisma, for more insights that will empower you to communicate effectively and live boldly.